No, vet, I will not baste your turkey for $1. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Your Impact Attack. Yes, it is Your Impact Attack, and Vet's got a turkey, and he wants me to baste it for $1, and I'm not down with that. I don't know, just like Hall & Oates. But you already know he's here, the vet, because he's trying to get me to baste this turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, two-time Hemi Award winner and 69-time Champion Award winner of your hearts, the vet.
The amount of turkeys you basted for free, and you won't even do this one for $1.
No.
All right, well, more dollars from me then.
You seen this turkey?
Is this the dollar wrestling club with Kevin Panetta? What's going on here? What?
Kevin Panetta, who
Dollar
had his
shave.
wrestling debut in a Royal Rumble, proceeded to get knocked out of the Battle Royale pretty quickly. Would you give that $1? His
Bro,
performance vet.
I wouldn't have paid $1 for that ring they had. What the hell was that? It looked like a crash pad that was just laying on the floor that they put ropes in.
It wasn't very high off the ground when he got eliminated from the Battle Royale. Our boy Kevin Panetta, and he's always giving those ladies a nice dollar.
Yeah. So shout outs to them, and shout outs to that promotion, and shout outs to rings that are only 8 inches off the ground.
That's like our old mattress wrestling. For like we'd get like 3 or 4 mattresses and put them together and wrestle on them. That was almost like what the height that ring was off the ground. Yeah, it's pretty bad. They were in like a gym
quite like
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and as always, we're not alone, vet. He was gonna watch me baste that turkey for $1, ladies and gentlemen. It's Brandon. He's a turkey basting voyeur, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that man. Basting turkeys. Or watching me baste turkeys.
The Will Smith of turkey basting.
Keep your baster out of my wife's mouth. Welcome all the way from Germany, Alexa. How you doing? She just posted a picture on Twitter, guys, of all these different plants that she's growing. She has some beautiful looking plants that have started. Good job. She's trying to be self-sustainable. I was champ of my bet. I was the booker. I mean, why not book yourself to be champ? Duh. Doesn't everybody book themselves to be champ? Bet.
I think so.
Yeah.
You're the only one you can trust, really.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna show up every night because it's my goddamn promotion. Lizbeth, she's hiding. Monkey see, monkey don't do here. And I think the only other person that we have in chat so far, besides Canada Spaceman, is Javi Uchiha. All right. I don't have It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia music to play in the background while I do that.
That's fine.
You want to just do it? Can you do the music with your mouths?
No.
Like ding 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 ding. And then you do the bicycle bell, vet. You do the ching ching ching. No?
No, because we already did it, everybody, so there's no point.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's the end of the segment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Your Impact Attack. Yes, it is Your Impact Attack on channelattitude.com and podbean.com. The Hami Media Group. Make sure you search that on Podbean to find us. I need to figure out what the real address for that is, vet. I used to know it when it was like Hami Media Group, when that was the Podbean. Now we've got like HMG affiliate. Is that what it is? I don't know. Just Google search HMG Podbean. Just do it now.
Do it
After
now.
you like and subscribe to the
Just
channel.
do it now.
Like, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, do all of those things. What am I wearing, Liz?
There's 100% nobody else trying to be us on the internet. Let's put it that way.
That's true. That's true.
If you find an HMG, that's us.
The Hami Media Group. Liz is asking what I am wearing. It is a tease for the A show.
It's a reverse Idol Stevens.
He's
got a white robe with a blue scarf.
It is. Welcome, Paul. Now, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the A show with April Hunter. We are going to have one of her friends who is a spiritual healer type person, a spiritual scholar, into like mysticism and that type of stuff, right?
Aaron
And
Stevens.
no, not
Oh.
Aaron Stevens. It's another wonderful lady whose name is Ava. She's coming on the show. But because Aaron Stevens is also a spiritual scholar, he will be joining the show as well. So it will be the A Show with April Hunter featuring her guests, Aaron Stevens and Ava Shokatano.
All right.
Yeah. So I've got the inverted Damian Sandow
Nice.
show tonight.
Paying
homage.
Now you just need to hold your microphone like a wine glass. If there you go. Well, I say this in no disparaging towards Aaron Stevens himself, but if he wants to get some screen time, he's going to have to be doing the A Show more often, because I finally caught up on NWA, and they're not using him to the best of their abilities right now. So that's on them. But
he's looking to work some new character gimmicks. There was like this weird laugh thing he was trying out on the show that he was going to try to work into his gimmick at some point in time. So
I like what he's doing.
I
like what he's doing. If you guys haven't seen it, he's doing a more theatrical thing with mascara on, and he's doing the change personas with the hand swipe stuff. So, and there's an interview with him and Mae Valentine on YouTube that you can watch. But NWA's doing some good stuff. If you guys haven't been checking it out, Briscoes are there. If you want to see some Briscoes. My friend JTG is there with the Dirty Sexy Boys. Velvet took over recently and had a Velvet After Dark whole show. So you can imagine what that was like until Austin Idol showed up. But lots of great stuff on NWA. Check it out, guys.
He's kind of leaning into the mascara thing. There was a picture that we had of him that I used for the A Show where he's got like his hair. He looks like a cast member from What We Do in the Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could fit in. Like I would love to see him on FX, like in like What We Do in the Shadows, like on the TV show. That would be really cool because he fits in perfectly in that. The eyeliner and all that type of stuff. He got it over on the show and everybody really liked it. So he's gonna transform that into his wrestling persona, which is pretty cool. Like add that in. He's trying to change. He's trying to mix it up. The dude takes lemons and turns it into lemonade. Pretty much everything he's given. Just like us here with Impact Wrestling. Now we've got the Go Home show that we're going to talk about here before we get into the Rebellion pay-per-view review. I didn't watch the Go Home show, but I did watch Rebellion. I was excited. Moose, they've teased Moose and Josh Alexander for so long. I just needed to jump right to the pay-per-view so I could watch Moose and Josh Alexander. And boy, was I disappointed.
Or were you?
Or was I? Vet, we'll get to that. But first, do you guys have anything that you want to talk about? Any topics, anything? Or do y'all want to jump right on in to reviewing this Go Home show here?
I don't know. Anybody buy any social media platforms lately?
I have not.
Oh, no? Okay, well, that's because you didn't cash out when you had a chance.
I should have. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Should have. Really should have.
Should have. Okay. I still have a chance, though. I still have a chance.
Yeah. I guess mathematically it's impossible to have zero chance, but...
So you're saying there's a chance.
All
right, well, I got nothing.
What about Johnny Depp? You watching? You hearing anything about the Johnny Depp trial? No,
I'm watching that shit. You kidding me?
It's disgraceful. Like that trial's getting more attention than just Lane Maxwell one.
That is true. That is sad. Well, you know why though, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that trial was just a cover up to cleanup job.
Cleanup job. That's all it is. Well, Mr. Wolf showed up in his Lamborghini, came in and cleaned up the scene of the crime.
Also, Johnny Depp is over, so
Johnny Depp is over.
Yeah.
I like so they've been playing this audio clip of him and her, like where she like admits to like hitting him, and she's like, Johnny, it was just a slap. And he's like, don't tell me. I know what it's like to be punched. Like, I love Johnny Depp's like normal voice. He's got like this like, like it's just so like the dude can do anything in acting, and his normal voice is just so like, what's a punch? I know what a punch is. Jesus, Johnny. Jesus.
Well, yep. So, but yeah, other than that, nothing really.
No, nothing really.
Does the chat have anything?
Does the chat have anything? Let's see. Mr. Wolf, just because you are a character does not mean you have character. So someone's a Pulp Fiction fan out there.
It's Cannon Spaceman.
Lizbeth says, what would you do with 44 billion? She would not buy Twitter.
Well, the more money you have, the less concept of value you have, right? You just...
Well, and he's not even buying the whole thing. He's got a group together.
Of course.
Like he's getting financing and a whole group together and all that type of stuff.
He's not rummaging his pockets like, do I have enough?
Well, he's leveraging his Tesla stock.
Yeah.
No, that's really what he's got. That's his collateral. His collateral is his Tesla stock, his billions of dollars.
Is that why he got turned down the other time?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we should just get into it then.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna start Impact, the go home, with a non-title match. Violent by Design versus Decay, which is, of course, Black Taurus and Crazy Steve. Tom Phillips is letting us know that Rebellion tickets are still available. Now, this is the question I had when I saw this. Like, I don't know when this was taped, but I thought it was taped a little bit before 2 days from the actual event. I could be wrong. But if so, did they know that tickets were still going to be available like a couple weeks later after they taped this? Did they just do ADR on it when the show aired? You know, just because they said, "Oh shit, there's still tickets available. Let's do a voiceover and make it sound like the announcers are doing it live." Did they do recorded commentary like voiceovers for all this shows? I guess these are things that we don't really think about as wrestling fans. We just assume that all the commentators are in the building all the time, and they were there at that time, but they can always go back into the booth and do voiceovers for stuff. So it seems like a small thing that could easily be glossed over, but I do find it interesting that, you know, with taped shows like that, and they're telling you that tickets are still available, like, if they had taped it long enough ahead in advance, that might not have been true at the same time, like when the show aired. But the fact that they might have, well, I don't know.
Yeah, that calls into question their whole recording schedule, because it's like I thought a lot of these were all bulk taped, and then the pay-per-view's live. It like leads to the pay-per-view. So like, how would they know? It has to have been added in post-production.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no way they shot all this and then was like, yeah, there's still tickets available, unless they just think or hope or know that there's going to be tickets available, so they go ahead and have him write that into the script, because it's
right.
You know, it's a
what if they taped
go home show.
What if they taped it 3 weeks ago and they just said that, and they're like, it don't matter if tickets are still available or not. If anybody tries to get tickets, they'll see us sold out, and then they'll think they were too late.
Yeah,
right?
It's like, man, while I was watching the show, they sold out. I wasn't fast enough.
Man, I got right on there too. I moved my Impact illegal streaming to the other side, or the Twitch channel to the other side, or the YouTube channel to the other side, and I went and opened up a link to buy the tickets, and they were sold out already.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I'm glad I remembered this. Breaking news. I don't have a breaking news thing, but breaking news. I'll do my John Brissom impression. Big Ray sent me a text message. So I don't know if the gentleman is coming on this week, or if the gentleman is coming on like this week or next week, or in the future or whatever. But former Impact Wrestling ring announcer Jeff Kavanaugh wants to join us on the Ridiculously Random podcast.
What a
very cool.
reached out to Ray, friended him on actually he reached out to Tommy Wonder of the Pro Wrestling Reflection, wanting to be on our show. Like he reached out to Tommy wanting to be on the Ridiculously Random podcast.
It's already suspect. The story
so
suspect.
Tommy sent him in our direction, and now he's gonna come on the show.
Now,
Former
okay. There's a few things wrong with that. First of all, nobody wants to be on the Ridiculously Random podcast. I'm sure it would have been something
wants to be on the Ridiculously Random podcast.
I'm sure that somebody would, they would actually try to actively fight not to be on it, like I do. The other thing about that is the way Ray shamelessly promotes the Ridiculously Random podcast using his own Hami Media Group and the official Ridiculously Random podcast accounts as if they're different people. There's no way that this guy, Kavanaugh, could not have just reached out directly to you guys because of just the ubiquitousness of your promotion. So why the hell would he need to contact somebody from the Pro Wrestling Reflection to get a hold of Big Ray?
Because they know Big Ray runs the Pro Wrestling Reflection, and they're a fan of the.
But
Pro
you
Wrestling
said
Reflection.
Tommy Wonder.
Yeah, it's Tommy Wonder.
Why not
Tommy
just
Wonder's
Big Ray?
a former worker, and Tommy Wonder knows a lot of those Impact guys. Because I think Tommy Wonder still hangs out with Swinger and Bravo and those types of people when they're off and when they're in town and stuff like that.
I kind of wonder about Tommy.
You wonder about Tommy? Tommy Dreamer or Tommy Wonder?
Tommy.
Well.
Oh, Sonic the Hedge Rat. Almost forgot about the show. How could you forget about us? And Buckshot Kid.
Yo.
Can't forget about you, Sonic.
Well, anyway, you guys didn't miss much. We were just talking about this Violent by Design vs. Decay tag match with Rebellion tickets are still available. Look, VBD goes over in about 8-ish minutes with the flag gimmick. I don't have anything to say about this. I just don't care. What about you, Brandon? Anything?
Just a simple get over match, get over their teamwork and ability to coordinate and work on the fly together.
Okay. Did it work?
I mean, they won. They went over.
Oh. But did it work on you?
I mean,
did you think they were a stronger team?
I thought they were a well-coordinated, well-oiled machine.
Oh. Okay. Well, then we get the Josh and Moose package. Now this is the same exact footage from last week, except they just took the individual interview things and put them both into one. So there's that. So same shit. Then during the break, Tasha Steeles and Savannah Evans attack Rosemary and Havoc as they're trying to tend to Crazy Steve and Taurus after the match. I guess Taurus was supposedly hurt. And then so they get Tasha and Savannah just attack them and then just kind of walk off. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, kind of like a little kick 'em when they're down. All right, we got our little dig in for the, or just a little something to advance something.
Yeah. All right. And then we get the billboard for the Moose apology. We got an apology coming up later in the show. If anybody wants to check it out. Okay. That's wonderful.
Just going to play the Conor McGregor apology when we get to the Moose apology.
Okay. All right. So the Cardonas come out and we go to recap. So we're WWE now, where we start recapping stuff in the middle of people's entrances. But at least this show is taped, which is a huge difference, because if it's taped, that means you can insert that and then the live crowd just sees the entrance like normal. But if you go to a WWE show, you got to watch somebody come out, then stand in the ring for 5 minutes, and while they do all their other commercials and all this other bullshit. So it's got to be very awkward and weird for everyone in the WWE shows. But when it's taped, you can do this. You can just insert it. Just like you inserted Tom's comments about Rebellion tickets still being available.
I feel so bad for the boys and the girls in the ring when that happens.
Yeah. So there's still no NWA title here, but Cardona wants tag team gold. I guess he's fine with that. He's got the digital media championship or whatever, but he wants the tag team gold now. And then he's interrupted by Tony Mama Luke and Little Guido.
Where was Big Sal? How do you have Tony Mama Luke and Big Guido and not Big Sal?
Disappointing.
Not a bad question. Not a bad question.
Or even where's Big Vito?
Well, we know where Big Vito was. He was tanning. He was tanning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's probably down in Florida, enjoying the beach. Yeah,
right.
Doing Big Vito things.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, so I guess this. So we get the return of some ECW guys, and they come out and defend the honor of the building and ECW and some other stuff. I guess like. I don't
Welcome
know.
to the show, Lab Rat.
Well, what do you think? What do you think?
Too much reliance on ECW. Way too much. Like between all these shows, like there's at least like several digs or several angles built around the legacy of ECW. It's like we can do a little bit better than that when we're trying to build heat or trying to get a reason for a match to be taking place, rather than just taking the easy shot at ECW because of where you're at.
Can we though? Can we do better? I don't know if we can. But anyway, this turns into a match. And
holla playa.
That's right. A tag team match.
Tag team match.
Yeah. It's for the digital media championship. And it's Zach versus Guido. And Guido, he kind of look. Here's the thing. If you know, maybe you didn't have a chance to look at yourself before you went through the curtain. But, with his trunks on, the way his body is now, it's got that thing that happens to older guys. I don't know, but it just look. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It looks like a saggy diaper. He's wearing a saggy diaper. Okay, and you never want to do that. You just wear street clothes. It doesn't matter. This isn't gonna be like much. You don't have to put your full gear on. He in the beginning of this match, he kind of muscled Cardona around and like out wrestled him a little bit, even though he's like 3 times his size, and that would be like to give you the proper visual if you don't watch this. You guys have seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, right? And you remember there was that one big guy in the mines that he was whipping the kids, and he had his turban eventually ended up getting caught in the grinder, and you remember that guy, the big guy that was no selling indies punches and stuff? Yeah. Now imagine like one of the kids just bowed up and kicked that guy's ass. That's what it looked like with one of those starving Indian kids. Like that's what it looked like was happening with Matt Cardona getting beaten up here in the beginning of this match. So.
I love the Indiana Jones reference. It reminds me of Clerks the cartoon.
Oh, the Pharaoh video game. Yeah, good stuff. Shout out to the Clerks cartoon. It only ran 6 episodes, but there are 6 of the best episodes of any show you will ever see.
Oh my God, who drive car? Bear drive car. That cannot be. How can that be?
Car full of midgets. There's first of all, only 6 episodes were made. 2 episodes aired originally, and they aired out of order. They aired episode 4 first, and then episode 2, and then the show got canceled.
I had the DVD, and it was the whole season on one DVD, and it's awesome. Vet, you should come on the Ridiculously Random podcast when we do top 5 Clerks cartoons episodes.
Top 5, yeah. You have to leave one off.
Look, he's thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it run through his head.
Not thinking about it. What I'm thinking about here is this match, where rightly, eventually Zack Ryder realizes, hey, wait a minute, I'm the big Indian slave driver, and then beats Little Guido, and then Morris. They start beating him up afterwards. Sonic's got it. He'll pass for me. Morrissey makes the post-match save, and then he gets beat up, and then Jordan Grace saves W. Morrissey, and Zach gets tabled. So strong female characters, progressive, very nice here. Not really. Any other thoughts on this whole thing as Zach gets tabled?
I mean, at least it made sense for Jordan to come out because of what happened before with how he turned heel on her to get the belt. It just looked really awkward seeing her come to the rescue of Big W. Morrissey.
W. Morrissey.
Right.
Yeah. You think she could carry?
He can't
Morrissey
beat everybody up, but she can, right?
Do you think she can carry him out of there?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. You think she can put Morrissey on her back?
I think so. I think she'd probably ask him to hold something too, because he doesn't weigh enough. Can you carry the table with you, Morrissey, so I can take you out of here? Elizabeth says, I just couldn't with this match. Well, you couldn't, but here we are.
You did.
Yeah, we had to. Or at least I did, and Brandon did. Honor No More backstage promo. Thoughts?
This group's completely fallen off.
What's
They're
it ever
just
on?
there was something they could have done with it early on, but this just like,
well, the legs are taken out from under it now that Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor, and there's a Ring of Honor now. Like the whole thing was Honor No More. We don't have Ring of Honor anymore.
But they were already, even before that, they already had split off. Like we wouldn't go back to Ring of Honor if it was there to go back.
Well, it could also be because they debuted these guys at the time when you got a Bullet Club feud, the Bullet Club invasion, right? Then you've got the Violent by Design invasion. So it's a whole nother like group that we have to worry about that's invading, and then there's like 10 of them.
Well, look,
there's they grow. There's like 15 of them. They grow each and every week.
The fatal mistake that every invasion angle makes is that the guys just get signed and get jobs. Doesn't matter what it is. NWO, Aces and Eights. Well, those were guys that already had jobs, I guess, that turned, but still, whatever. Retribution. Like
Nexus.
we'll fire. Yeah, Nexus. Well, Nexus also already had jobs, so that was a little different. But the point is, like, when you come in and do something, instead of getting fired or arrested or both, like you just get put in wrestling matches. So like, even if you were going to do this sort of an angle, why wrestling matches? You know what? I'm not going to tell these guys how to run their business. That's their job. Anyways, Jonah, cinematic promo, with music underneath. Okay, see, this is why I always say that, because it has to be noted. On interviews with Gia now, we don't have it, but on cinematic promos, we do. We get a score. We get a nice score from Michael Giacchino or whoever does this for them. Cinematic promo from Jonah. It's not too long. I think he was talking about Ishii. Any thoughts on it?
I mean, it was just Jonah as usual. Just put Ishii in there.
All right. He says it's going to be a dog fight because that's Stone Pitbull, you see.
It's going to be a Godzilla versus a dog fight.
Yeah. It's Godzilla versus a pit bull. So you would think he would just, one of the scales of Godzilla would fall off and crush the pit bull, but no. So we go from a dog fight to lion fight with Mahabali Shera. Versus the match was over before I could type the guy's name, so yeah, this is a quick get over for Shera. I don't think there's much we have to add to this, do we?
Nah.
Okay, but we do come back with Bhupinder Gujjar with Gia and no music underneath. He says he's cool with Raj and Shera as long as they stay out of his business. So we get to hear directly from this guy for once, instead of like him almost saying something and then Raj coming up and interrupting him. We finally get a full backstage interview, sort of, from Gujjar here. Thought he sounded fine. English is good. Anything else?
Do we miss Rohit yet?
Yes.
Well, we always miss Rohit, but
I miss Rohit.
I'd like to think that they wouldn't just lump him into this just because he's Indian.
Well, they had already tried to.
Yeah, I know. So now we get Moose and Scott. Moose does not want to apologize, but if he does, he wants assurances of his safety if he has to apologize. And, so typical heel stuff from Moose, and it's Moose. We're never going to complain about a Moose sighting. So, all right. It's a little tease for later. Anything I left out? Got the main point.
No.
If I skipped over anything so far, Brandon, that you had some notes for or anything, just to
Nope.
make sure. Okay.
I wish I would have done more with this whole thing, kind of threaded more throughout the show. Get more Moose in here.
Yeah. Any excuse for more Moose? That
More
should be
Moose.
a hashtag.
If you
Excuse
are
for
listening,
Moose.
he's not going to tell you how to run your business on the Honor No More, but he will tell you more Moose.
Yeah, that's very easy and obvious, though.
Yeah, that's easy fix.
I don't have to lay that out for them. More Moose, please. More your own champion, please.
I don't
Thank you.
have to explain what more Moose means.
Yeah. Well, you see, what you would do is you would take Moose and have him walk into the scenes.
Put him on camera.
And then he would open his mouth up and down while exercising his vocal cords to say words.
Then he would beat everyone up in the promotion
Right.
day in and day out.
Yeah. All right. So
Take
now we get...
Tylenol for any headaches, Midol for any cramps.
That's a Tommy Boy reference. Not Tommy Wonder, who was contacted by... You know what? Never mind. I don't know more versus Bullet Club. Maria looks dressed to compete here. Ass out and everything. But this match is sort of like, well, in addition to what we were already talking about with a lot of this Honor No More stuff not making sense, being stale, everything else, this particular match is sort of oops, all heels match where no one really has anybody to cheer for. I mean, I guess the Bullet Club is kind of positioned as the fan favorites, but they do things here that don't necessarily... They're still trying to act like heels, so it's caused a lot of confusion. So it started out good. Everyone was like tagged in, and so got involved, and that's the best way you want to do, like a multi-man, 6-man, 8-man, 10-man, 12-man, whatever you want to do. You want to tag everybody in and get them involved and show off the gimmick of the tag match. And then you decide on who's going to take the heat or whatever, and then you stop on that guy and let him get beat up by everybody on the other team, right? So that was Chris Bay here. They cut him off and started some heat. And then, after a few minutes, which made me think this match was going to be short, he made a pretty good hot tag to Carl Anderson. Like, in terms of he didn't bump everybody. He escaped from getting beat up in the corner and made a diving tag for Carl Anderson. The crowd is absolutely silent. They didn't make a noise on this tag. You could hear a pin drop. And I normally would say that that's the truth of all, Good Brothers matches. But in this case, just the way everything was going and the way the crowd seemed like they were decently into the people involved here, I would have thought that they would have at least made a half-hearted pop for the what I thought was the hot tag. Well, they turn it into another heat on Carl eventually. And then before he makes his other hot tag, he bumps two of the guys on the other team by himself. Like I don't remember what he backdrop or something, just throwing guys around. And then he tags Jay White. And the ladies cheer. Well, one lady did anyway. But then during his comeback, it turns into a double down with Vinny. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Why are you giving this heel a double down? Like he's the baby face, that just took all this heat.
The psychology was like completely reversed in that spot.
Right. And I'm not going to blame Jay. It can't be Jay. It's got to be Rob Zombie's son, right? So it's got to be the guy that wrestles with no shoes on that has no psychology, right? Got to be. And the guy that's going to be part of one of the worst things I've ever seen ever later, he's got to be the reason, right? Anyway, Magic Killer on Tan Oni Lorcan for the win. And that's the match. Any what else we got here? Anything else on this? Any other notes that you had or things you noticed here?
I was kind of shocked when it was just a simple shotgun finish. I was gonna go shotgun into something more complicated, but they just ended it right there at the end of the sequence.
Yeah, not good. Should have just been beating up Chris Bay for a long time and then letting him get the hot tag to
blame
Jay
him.
White.
Keep it easy.
Yeah.
Don't blame the homeless guy, Vet.
Yeah.
But what if it's his fault though, like it was here?
Right. Yeah. I'm not doing it because he's homeless. He just happened to be homeless.
Yeah,
It's not just Vet blaming the guy now either. It's Brandon too. So it's two against one.
Yeah, the fact that he's homeless is completely irrelevant to what we're blaming him for.
Yeah. Also, homeless people choose to be homeless. Anyway.
And he chooses not to wrestle with shoes on.
Yeah. So, anyway, we get Burt Macklin gets a cinematic promo with music underneath. He says he belongs to a club too, BBW club probably. It's like it's one of the, message boards on Pornhub or something. But yeah, whatever. Burt Macklin, thoughts?
How did he know that Bullet Club won that match?
Pre-tape.
Yeah. No, this is real. This was live. They shot this live, and they had a guy like playing the music live, like they had a guy, a DJ right there to do a live score of his backstage promo. Right. Anyway, inspiration promo. They're at an autograph signing. I thought this was somewhat creative. Like, if this was the only type of stuff that Impact ever did like this, I'd be fine with it. Because it's like, okay, I see what they're doing. And you could imagine, if this were real, you could imagine that the inspiration would set this up themselves and, do it like this. Like, where what they did, Colin, was they showed somebody was filming an autograph signing, but the cameraman was the next guy in line. And then when he got up there, they were talking to the camera as if they just did their promo that way. So it's so they basically did their promo talking to the cameraman directly as if he was a fan trying to get an autograph. And so yeah, it's a little different way to do something like this to get their little backstage promo in. And you would imagine that the inspiration would go to the lengths to do something like this themselves, because they're just that arrogant, rather than that this is just Impact production. So this is okay on its own. I liked it.
So would you like to see more of this from them? Do you like kind of these more reality promo styles? Would you like to see more of this in wrestling in general?
I don't think it works for everybody. So I wouldn't like to see more of it in general. What I would like to see is, I can tell that this, I can't say for 100% sure. I have a feeling that it might have been an inspiration idea. I feel like they're the kind of people that can offer little ideas like this. I feel like they could be a WWE pitching stuff like this and them saying, no, why would we do that? Like I can see them trying to think of ways to keep the formulas from becoming stale and just do something a little bit different that looks a little bit different. Or maybe it's somebody on the production team that's suggesting these type of things that does all these other things too. Whoever's idea it is, it's fine. But I always ask that things remain in the realm of reality. That's just my only ask. And so, like, if you can explain it, then I'm fine with it. If you can't.
So Impact, we need a bathroom brawl where it starts where like the person's looking at the urinal like they're urinating, and then it's like, oh my God, there's a fight, and then like they turn around and there's people fighting like behind them in the urinal, and then they just sit there and watch it. You hear them cheering on and all that other stuff. Would that be very natural for
right,
you?
because the Impact cameraman would leave the camera on and film the entire time he was taking a leak?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. You make it seem like it's a person who's like on their cell phone, like, oh, I'm using I'm just filming myself. I'm at Impact on the bathroom. Oh my God, there's a fight. And then they just turn around. I'm trying to help them out. I'm trying to help Impact.
Probably better not do that. Just to be safe here. Brandon, did you like the Inspirations promo at the autograph signing?
I love their outfits.
Okay, an indictment on the inspiration promo. From
I mean, the promo is good,
Okay, all right.
but it's just kind of but still, I mean, it was a good performance, but it was just regular, nothing really advanced other than them kicking Caleb out too. But where does he go from here now?
Where does he go? Indeed. We get a Taya Valkyrie promo in a purple accent lighted hallway. So, still doing it. And then we get Bailey, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Ace Austin versus Laredo Kid and Trey Miguel. They flip at each other until Trey pins Ace. And then Ace tries to get some heat on Trey Miguel afterwards. And Speedball looks like he's going to kick him, but he kicks Ace instead. Oh my God, they were never friends.
No shit. That's how all the promos went. All the time leading up to this show.
Yeah.
Thought that was going to pay off at the pay-per-view instead.
Nah, we got to get to it before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, come on. Don't do the right thing. How dare you, Brandon? You know what? No. We're done here.
Yeah. Except we're not, because next, Honor No More does another one of their little backstage promos. So they're just standing around backstage in a circle, jerking off or whatever, and then doing promos every once in a while whenever the camera wanders over.
At least Mike doesn't have to do it himself. He's got Maria there.
Yeah. And then Vincent excuses himself into a cinematic movie with opera music underneath, where he gets jumper cables out of his trunk, and then he goes over to some garage that looks like it's in a warehouse district, but somehow has brick walls, and he kickstarts.
That's the look of a man that's not impressed by any of this.
Kickstarts PCO by hooking up the battery and screaming a bunch of stuff at him. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen Impact do. It may be one of the worst things I've ever seen in wrestling, but I can't say that with confidence because there has been so much terrible stuff.
Abdullah the Butcher and the death the electrifying chair death match that they had. That was terrible.
That was better than this though.
You think
so? At least them trying to sell it was hilarious. Yeah. Or trying to work at it still, even at how badly it failed.
Because that was a match that went wrong. It wasn't like a produced short film that people thought would have been any good about using electricity to bring somebody back to life, not kill them, as they were trying to do with Abby.
That's true. That's true. What
they
about
trying
the
to kill him? Explosion? The proper use of electricity, killing, not reviving.
He's a monster.
That's not what made it bad, Colin. You didn't see it, okay? What really made it bad, besides, look, if it just happened as I described, that's one thing. But what Vincent had to do, like, while he's waiting for PCO to wake up, the stuff he's screaming, this is, if anybody was giving Impact a chance on this week, this was the last time they will ever watch this show. This is the kind of thing you don't want to do, because the casual fan, whatever, there's no casual fan that checks out Impact, I'm sorry. But you know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that used to like Impact, if Buckshot Kid is still here, the guy that only watches Impact, I would like him to try to defend this if he can. But I don't. It's indefensible.
Yeah, this was. Whew. Normally, I like the cinematic stuff, but this was. Damn.
Brandon's speechless over here. This is funny.
It was bad. It was that bad.
At any point when you were watching it, did you think, "Oh my God, this is still happening"?
Yes.
like why wasn't it?
Like they how can they watch this, go back and be like, okay, we got to cut this. We're not airing this.
Yeah, I guess just because they spent so much time, they had to do it. That commercial I saw for NXT with Braun and the Druids or whoever looked pretty bad. It was really bad, Sonic. It was, but it was shorter. So that's where it comes across differently because they didn't waste as much time on it. Elizabeth says she's the horror-loving girl, and this was awful. And she's being nice. Awful is not a word I would have used without several expletives in front of it. I'm just trying to be nice because what can I say? Like, I'm not going to pick on the short bus kids. So in one show you've seen what they could do with a little mild creativity, with the inspiration, and then you see the other side of when it goes too far, and you think you're making high art, and you're not. And actually, this would have been right at home in WWE. This is the kind of thing they would do, or would have done, at least in the early '90s. But yeah, just
And I feel like this is bad because you have people like Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and like a lot of the things that they've done in the past where it's like you could punch this up and be creepier, like let us show you like to make it better. And
Jamie
maybe it's
Borash.
yeah. Well, I know he's not there anymore right now.
Oh, if
but,
they had him, I mean, yeah.
yeah. But I think this is also too because I know a little bit more about Vinny Marcellia, and he's kind of like that. He's into the horror movies. He's into the slasher.
he's Rob
films.
Zombie's son. So
Yeah, he's basically Rob Zombie's son. Yeah, you're right. And
homeless.
And so this was probably him trying to have his own like, oh, I've seen so many horror movies. I know how to do something like this, and it just didn't. This had to have just been his idea. Like Impact like needed to step in, and I don't think they did.
Well, you had to say no, and that's the thing. Like, it's on the face of it, it's stupid. You're talking about this guy like he's really Frankenstein. Okay, like so just on that gimmick alone, it's stupid. But even if you set that aside, if that doesn't bother you and you can go with it, all we needed, if you wanted to do this, was everything except how painfully long they stayed on it and like dragged it out. Like it should have been more implied and less acted out. It was almost like they were telling him to pull time in the middle of filming. Like, no, keep screaming longer. We need more minutes.
Could
like
this
the
have been
the show's running short.
Yeah. Could this have been better if they chopped it up throughout the show?
No. Nothing could have saved this. Sonic says it had to be better than the Elias Kevin Owens crap. No, it is not. It was not better. That is still better. Wish version of the Fiend stuff, that's also putting it mildly. I don't know. Look, let's just move on. But here's the problem, right? You watch this obviously phony, embarrassing thing, and now we move right into the main event. So what you're doing here is you're taking the credibility of the main event, the credibility of the champion, the credibility of Moose, and you're just like, you're on the same show as this. It's like a direct reminder because you go from one thing to the other. If this was buried towards the beginning of the show, which it wouldn't have made sense if it was, but if it was, then you'd have a whole show to forget about it by the time Moose came out. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, you know what, good night, I'm turning this off. Now you don't even get to see the best part of the show, being Moose, right? So it's like these kind of things you cannot. I don't understand why it's so difficult, and people actually argue this. They argue about this with me. Why? You cannot have foolish, impossible fantasy bullshit on your show, this Lucha Underground shit, and then turn around and expect me to care about a regular wrestling angle or regular wrestling match with people where you're talking about like, he came after my family. He came to my house. It's like, I'm sorry, I just saw Frankenstein in a garage. I don't care about anything you do. Everything is fake now. You see what I'm saying? Like, you poison the well. When you do shit like this, you poison the well. Now, how am I supposed to take Moose and Josh Alexander seriously? I don't care what the buildup is like. I just saw Frankenstein in a garage. So it's all the same thing.
Why
you
isn't
can't
Frankenstein
do that.
champion? He just got a car battery. He can fight through Moose and Josh Alexander and all of this. PCO Impact champion by the end of the year. Book it.
Not only is the undead Frankenstein monster getting electrocuted and revived here, but he loses every match anyway. So fuck him. Just leave him dead. Like there's no angle that you can approach this from where it makes any kind of sense. So anyways, let's at least talk about Moose, since we're here. The Moose-pology, as I've dubbed it. The main event Moose-pology. Where he obviously does not apologize. I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying this.
No.
That's why I said the Conor McGregor apology. I didn't need to know, or you need to watch it to know that he was going to come out here and say, "I apologize for no fucking nothing." That's
You'll do fucking nothing. But he starts by having his attorney read it, which his attorney is another cadaver. So like the in-house doctor for Impact is a cadaver. The Moose's attorney is a cadaver, and apparently PCO is stitched together from several cadavers that used to be one of the Mounties. So like, you know, no stranger to zombies here being on this show, but that's Moose's lawyer, and he starts to read the apology, and Moose is like, "This is not sincere enough," and he crumples it up and says he's going to do it himself. And of course, he says things like, "I'm sorry that you're not a man and you couldn't protect your family." You know, like, of course, perfect Moose. And of course, and he ends by, you know, doing the old Rocky 3 line where he says he's gonna show up to his house so that his wife and his sons can see what a real man looks like, and then use him as a role model and not their father. So of course Josh Alexander comes out with music, right? Like, play my music, I'm going out there.
Hit my damn music, Scott.
Yeah.
Hit my fucking music, Scott. I gotta go out there. He's fucking talking about my family.
You get your emotions in check. I
Fucking
can't hit your
music.
music until you get your emotions in
Fucking
check.
music, Scott.
Yeah. And then he calmly strolls out, and then he's kind of the security surrounding the ring. And then Josh comes out and beats up all of security as they rush at him one at a time. Yeah. And where have we seen this lately? I feel like guards! I feel like we've seen these more guards lately. Brock, Wardlow, anybody? Like, a lot of security getting tossed around these days. So we're doing it again.
Really well.
Huh?
I mean, hopefully they're getting paid really well. I mean, to continuously be getting beaten up like this, like they're putties.
Standard extra rate, they probably get 150 for Impact.
They're union workers. We only get 3 beaten ups a week.
Yeah. All right. So after he decimates the entire security staff, then he calmly gets in the ring, and then he faces off with Moose, and then they have a fake pro wrestling fight. And this ends with a C4 through the table on Moose. Like, he picks Moose up, and then he gives him the C4 off the apron onto a table at ringside.
Babyface gets his comeuppance. That's on the go home show. Well, I don't need to watch pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yeah. What? Make any sense? Now, but see, that's
one
the
thing
old
if you have a
WWE
scuffle
swerve.
and pull it apart. It's another thing if you hit your finish off the ring through a table. It's like, well, guess we've established what's happening here.
Well, that used to be the thing WWE would do, though. Like on Sunday Night Heat or whatever, or even the go home shows for some of their big pay-per-views during the Attitude Era. It was like, oh man, Stone Cold lost going into the pay-per-view. He's probably gonna win.
Happened.
He's probably gonna win, right? Like, they would usually tease, like, if the champion lost on like Friday night going into the pay-per-view, he's probably gonna win, and vice versa. So they were probably hoping that people would be like, oh, I gotta tune in because there's no way Josh is gonna win this. He just C4'd Moose through the table. Like, there's no way. You don't have the babyface get his comeuppance on the go home show. How dare you, Scott D'Amore?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that, though. It may never have worked like that, and we wouldn't know because in the Austin days, well, first of all, he didn't lose, but they were just going to pay to see him regardless.
It's true.
You know,
the tickets were sold out for 50,000 seat arenas in like minutes back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, they
people
definitely
like,
couldn't say on a taped show that there were still tickets available.
People at All In are like, we sold out 10,000 in minutes. It's like, bro, the WWE was doing that in the 90s, like every week.
And WCW.
Every week. And WCW, yes. There were 2 promotions selling out for stadiums every week, multiple times a week. Now
Yes.
AEW can't even get 1 million viewers a week.
Well, things are different now.
We still got our 50 though. We're good.
Yeah.
Impact.
Yeah. So I mean, that's your go home. They had a nice sort of lead in to the pay-per-view, except they ruined it by just giving you the match right there, and I just, what can I say? You all know what you did. I'm talking to you, Impact, because I know you be listening to this show. There's no way you don't. So number one, stop putting accent lighting in the hallways. Number two, don't ever put any more of those movies about PCO ever on screen again. And three, don't bury your main events for pay-per-views.
Are you done with your promo? I was trying to play music under it while you were you were cutting it.
Well, you shouldn't have, because I'm not cinematic. I'm just normal, raw internet feed right here.
Gia Miller's not around.
She's not around. So that was that. All right, and now we move into Rebellion, which sadly Brandon did not watch Rebellion, and Colin watched some of Rebellion. So Brandon, if you want to take this opportunity to get something to eat, feel free. We'll be here.
Smoke hit a bong rip or something.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. But here we have the opening. Now, I didn't watch a pre-show.
I did read the results though.
Oh, he read the results. All right. Well, I'll still have questions for you, anyways. But yeah, there was allegedly a pre-show. I don't know what happened on the pre-show. So, if anybody knows what happened on the pre-show, in the chat, even go ahead and let us know. But as the show starts, we have Jay White versus Burt Macklin versus Chris Sabin in a triple threat match for some reason. I don't remember the reason that this is actually happening. It just seems to be just because.
I was very surprised that this started the show.
Yeah. Burt had the Punisher face paint on.
Pretty cool.
A little flavor. Like he's trying
it.
to give himself a little glow up, as it were, with influence or inspiration.
So Canada Spaceman, here I got you, Vic. Canada Spaceman says, I forgot who won in reference to the pre-show. Influence or inspiration on pre-show. I just like it. I think Canada Spaceman might be a little inspirationed right now with his typing. But I think I know what you're getting at there, Canada Spaceman. So apparently the pre-show was the match for Caleb with a K.
Oh. All right.
Neither of them want him, so I don't know how that match worked out.
So the loser gets him?
I guess so, yeah. You got to take Caleb back. Sorry, ladies.
Nice. All right, so back to Burt. So yeah, he's got this face paint on. It looks like the the Punisher skull, and then he's got the this jacket that says "Front Toward Enemy." So like he's trying to give himself a little bit of personality. He's trying to wear his personality. And then we get the classic J powder to start, which is perfect for this because it's a three-way. He's like, no.
We're gonna have a Jay White match here. They made sure to say that on commentary, Vet. They made sure. See, now that I listen to the show when I'm driving, like I was listening to this at work and kind of watching it while I was washing dishes, and I like that they were like, this is the Jay White match. See, he's gonna just take to the outside, and they're gonna do it to his pace. They're gonna they really set up. Jay White is this big time, big match feel type of person with a lot of his psychology and the way he did things in the ring. So,
right. Which, he did his part well. But in this match, Chris Sabin almost never stops beating people up. I joke about him being Goldberg, but he really is 98 Goldberg here. He just beats these two guys up within an inch of their lives, and then at the end, he's pinned by Burt Macklin. So Burt Macklin steals one, but that could have been the only logical conclusion. I was like, he is getting so much offense on these guys that he's got to be taking the fall. Like, there's no way he's not. So that's definitely
No, Vit, do you kind of just consider this like a de facto number one contenders match? Are we gonna see Burt Macklin be kind of that first feud that he has coming off the Moose thing here? Or are they gonna tie up loose ends after what happens, at the end of the show, or do we see Burt Macklin kind of be the first one, as the number one contender after this match?
I suppose you could do it. It's a fresh match, I think. So, they could have been getting him ready for this, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't really think about it. If that was their plan, they could have at least made some allusions
Like
to
announced
that.
it or something like that, because they made a lot of comment about Saban being like beating everyone at that moment in time. So it's like they were trying to like make him seem like he's, next in line, kind of like this next person that could potentially vie for a title. And like they made this match seem like it was like a number one contenders match without really even saying it, right? Like it's just how they talked on commentary. Like that's what I felt. That's what I got from commentary.
Or could be a test too. So like, all right, let's put him up there. Let's see how he hangs with this opportunity. See how he handles it, and just go from there.
Two of our better ones, yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of commentary, French commentary. You barely have English commentary. You're gonna have French commentary on this. Really is a Canadian promotion.
It's PCO.
Yeah, it should be. Might as well. He just screams in the microphone the whole time. Yeah, it's just that. Then Josh Alexander's wife gives him a pep talk in the stairwell, and then Scott D'Amore joins in and gives him a pep talk too, a coach pep talk.
So you'll love the story about this one. I again, listening to this, I turned around and looked at my phone, Vet, and I saw the stairwell, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. They're doing like a Josh is at home, like getting prepped to go. And I'm like, but it's kind of weird. He's got his headset on. That's weird. He's got the headgear on. Like he's talking to his wife at home. Like, oh, I can't forget my headgear. I'm just going to wear it. Right. And then I'm like sitting there, I have my back turned, and I hear Scott D'Amore's voice, and I'm like, is that fucking Scott D'Amore? Is he at Josh's house? Like, what the fuck? And then I thought to myself, it would be like, he'd be like, no, it's cool, Josh. Like, I've known Jade forever. I've got a key to the house. Like, it's cool. And like, he just shows up randomly.
The office is just down the street, remember?
It's just like, I'm right down the street. Like, Jade, I've known Jade forever. And then I looked again, like I turned around and looked and got a good look at my phone. And I'm like, oh, they're backstage. Like, why couldn't that? It would have been so much better if they were at like Josh's house. And Scott's like, hey, yeah, good luck tonight, man. He's like, what are you doing in my house? Like, get the fuck out of my house.
It's like, what are you doing in my house? There's a pay-per-view currently going on. Why aren't you there? Well, why aren't you there? And then they could just point fingers at each other, and then
Decay could teleport him there.
It's Decay. Decay's just, I get around by Decay. Duh. How do you think I got here? And then Black Taurus and Rosemary just in the corner, like, yeah. How do you think he got here?
Yes, and all of that would still be better than the Vinny and PCO segment. So we get a package, and then we get Deonna versus Taya. Look, I did not like this. Let me just say that right off the bat. It's been a while since I've seen Taya, since she was in Impact last. I remember when she came to NXT. And I saw that and did not like what I saw there. And so now I'm watching this match, and I just have a question for everybody. Was she always this bad, or has she gotten worse? Because I don't remember clearly watching her with a critical eye back when, 20 pounds ago. I just remember like seeing her and being like, huh, that looks like a striking individual. She'd probably go somewhere in this business. That's kind of how I treated all of Impact when I watched it back then. It was just off to the side, and it was on, but I wasn't really watching it. But if you can't have a decent match with Deonna, then I think the problem is you. So that's why I'm just asking, like, if anybody else has any input on Taya Valkyrie and what has happened lately to her, feel free to fill me in.
Ooh, I haven't seen much of her, but I could definitely see like a little bit of the. I don't know. It happens to a lot of people. You fall into a little bit of state of contentment where you kind of like you're comfortable where you're at.
That's what I was gonna say. It was probably the issue where her and Johnny are kind of comfortable where they're at. You know, they got that WWE paycheck. They've gotten their Lucha Underground paychecks. They've gotten their Impact paychecks. They've probably kind of set themselves up a little bit better. You know, she was NXT, getting that NXT paycheck where she did, like you say, add on the pounds and kind of started. Like she was great in Impact, and then it's like she went to NXT, like Canada Spaceman says here, and it's like she got worse in NXT, and it's like she was there for the paycheck and just kind of going through the system and going through the motions. That's what it probably could be. I mean, she's been doing this for a long time, high level too. You got to think, you know, she went down there as a white woman to go down to Mexico, pretty much by herself and make it there, with a lot of the things that women have to deal with down there. And
Right, but I'm sorry, Mexican women's wrestling is the shits, bro. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to be good down there. You know what I mean? Like, who's your favorite female luchador? Exactly.
the one that Sexy Star.
Shits. So I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna get better, especially if that's where you're learning everything.
I'm just gonna start watching Impact again.
She's looking pretty amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty. There's no doubt, and she looks like a star. Nice. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I just thought she looked visibly worse than I remembered her being in this match, and it brought Deonna down a bit. Deonna did not bring her up, or maybe Deonna did bring her up, and that's what it looks like. In which case, Jesus, or Jesus, as the case may be.
Jesus.
Anyway, it don't matter. New champ, Taya Valkyrie, new champ. So now we've got to see her do this on a semi-regular basis, and that's the only way she's ever gonna improve.
And I had a feeling too that so I didn't quite see all of this match, but I had a feeling when they announced Taya and that she was coming back that they were going to put the title back on her, because I think she was the title holder before she kind of left. It was kind of being bounced back and forth between her and like Scarlett Bordeaux and a bunch of these other people like were in the mix for it, I believe.
Yeah, 'cause I think she had to give it there because they're billing it as like she's a title she never lost.
Oh, actually no, because it was who was the Blanchard? I think Tessa had it, and then Taya had it, and then there was just all kinds of crazy shit going on at Impact around that time.
Tessa was the world champion and that whole thing. So don't forget about that. Anyway, Tasha with Gia, no music underneath. Basically says she's gonna drag Rosemary. That's the takeaway from this promo.
I think she meant no champ challenge, but it came out as the no chemo challenge.
Ooh.
Yeah. Autocorrect is a bitch there, Liz. Yeah.
That Randy Orton dropping the Singh brother on the announce table. No champ. All right. So next is the X Division Championship 3-way match with Ace, Speedball, and Trey. Trey almost, Colin, got his entrance. Almost. He was just slightly behind on the last spray, but for the most part, he almost had it there.
At least he's working on it.
At
least he's getting there. Like I want to see a time where Trey comes out and it's like dead on perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the technology now with these touch screens. They could easily just have it where he could just
they don't have
touch
the technology.
the
when you say they, you mean the world. You don't mean Impact Wrestling and Anthem.
Yeah. Scott, figure out a way to get it.
Yeah. So in this match,
boo, canceled, boo.
Yeah.
Apparently,
no, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Elon Musk just bought Google, so just say what you want again. Like in this match, there was so much dangerous and painful looking, yet obviously cooperative, phony stuff. Like it's the worst like combination of this clearly is fake, but it looks like it hurts real bad. And most of it was due to Speedball. Like everything I watch him do, I'm like, I would not take that. If he proposed that, I'd be like, no.
That shit looks so dangerous.
Yeah, there was some spot where he had like Trey Miguel as like or I don't remember which one was which, but it was basically like someone was making a human bridge on the other guy's shoulders to the ring apron on the outside, and he did like a moonsault and landed on the bridge's guy's back. Ooh. And I'm like, you could dislocate both your shoulders, you could snap your spine, like of course there's a way that you could easily not get hurt by that, but there's a way that you very easily could get crippled by that. Just it's a hairline difference between wheelchair and totally fine, didn't even touch me. So it's not worth it.
No.
So somebody's got to tell this fucking kid, like, they got to tell him no, like, I'm not doing that. That hurts and it's stupid. But yeah, seriously, I don't know where this kid came from. He's got to be somebody's favorite. He's got to be related to somebody or somebody's friend because he's Canadian. And there has to be some sort of in there because he just came out of nowhere and started being on Impact and like being a featured person. And it's like, you look at him and you're like, I don't really get it, but I don't know, man. You got to say no. Anyway, Ace Austin wins. He's the new X Division champion. Now he's the 3-time X Division champion.
I can get down with that.
Does that mean Trey Miguel's going to NXT to fill the void left by...
No. Honor No More gets a backstage promo. It's the same old stuff. There's a mysterious vignette here. I don't know if you caught this, Colin, but there's a mysterious vignette where it has like the grindhouse looking graphics and even the coming soon card, you know, from like that Quentin Tarantino used for the Kill Bills and the grindhouse movies and stuff. That like they played that same thing. So somebody new coming. But
it was the Danger Mouse, the Danger Mouse beat.
Was it?
Yeah, I heard the music, but I didn't know what it was from. I was like, why is someone playing fucking like MF Doom up in this bitch?
Right.
Danger Mouse.
Yeah, well, somebody's coming. Don't know who. Maybe the internet knows, but I don't look it up. I just wait to see. Next was Jonah versus the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. Colin, did you check this out?
Yeah, this is a good match. I like this match.
All right.
It was very so I was watching it as I was closing down and the security guard came in and he heard like meat slapping on meat. He's like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "I'm watching wrestling." And he's like leaning over to watch and I'm like explaining to him who Jonah is and then explaining to him who the Stone Pitbull is, and I'm like, "Yo, Ishii's fucking badass because he's just that dude that gets in there and just whoops everybody's ass and just takes a beating and just keeps coming." And he was very interested. He was very interested in this match. Plus, it's like two big ass giant dudes, and that's what most people when they watch professional wrestling back in the '90s, when most people were fans, which I'm sure when my security guard guy was a fan, right? He was used to seeing guys like Hulk Hogan and Typhoon and Tugboat and like dudes that are larger than life. And not your speedball Mike Bailey's and Trey Miguel's, you know, those kinds of guys flying around on your TV screen. So he was very impressed by what he saw from Jonah and Pitbull.
Well, I will say one thing. I would never have called Tomohiro Ishii a giant dude. That's definitely
he's like thick. Like he's just like dude, he just seems like if you stood next to him, like he's just so thick. Like he's just a big dude because his mass, like he's just massive. Seems like,
but he's not. He's very small. But the point is,
really, you stood next to him.
I haven't. I don't need to stand next to him.
He just looks like he's thick. I don't mean that like he's tall or anything like
that.
Like,
yeah, there's really
like
no
he's like beefy,
kind of like Taz.
Yeah, like Taz. Yeah, he's
not like Taz. He's like Tomohiro Ishii is like 90% torso, but even the torso's not that thick. His arms and legs aren't particularly big. And he's short, but the whole idea is that the way he's built, he's turned that into his gimmick. He's the Stone Pitbull, and that's what he's going to do. So they worked this match pretty much. the way you would mostly expect. But as a Tomohiro Ishii fan, and with no disrespect to him or no disparaging or anything, I'm just based on the booking alone, I cannot believe that Ishii won this match. Like I really can't believe it. I just assumed he was getting fed to Jonah, even though the whale is the one that eats Jonah's. But still, I think that I just assumed this was another guy they were bringing in for Jonah to get a quality win on, and Ishii has now beaten Eddie Edwards and Jonah back to back. So maybe he should face Josh Alexander, because these dudes aren't normally eating a bunch of L's. Well, Eddie kind of is sometimes, but
that could be the next challenger is Ishii, which would make sense.
Right.
That would be pretty cool to see Josh Alexander and Ishii, especially because they were putting over all the titles that Ishii has won. Like, we're bringing Jonah in here, and he's the 8-time never open weight champion, and he's the this many time tag team champions and all this other stuff. But I too was like, oh man, they're gonna give this to Jonah because they're bringing this guy in. And then I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, no, it would make sense that they would give it to Ishii in this sense, because it's probably Ishii's decision whether or not he goes over on this, right? That could be one of his. No. You don't think so? One of his stipulations is he has like kind of the creative control or whatever happens to kind of protect his character.
No, if anything, it would be New Japan as a company. Like, if we're giving you this talent, they have to go over. But if that's the case, then they would be up to Impact to put him up against somebody that it wouldn't matter if he went over on. Him going over on Jonah's a bigger deal.
I think Jonah's a mark enough to be like, yeah, I'll lose to Ishii.
It's possible. I'm not really questioning the decision in terms of like whether it should have been done. It's fascinating to me. Because
wait, did he really?
Yeah, well, okay, so even that, right? Adam Cole's being positioned as a main event person in AEW, and he had to kick Tomohiro Ishii in the balls or whatever after some outside interference just to beat him. So it's not like he just got straight up beat by Adam Cole. And in the match, Adam Cole didn't do his usual stupid bunch of shit where he kicks out of everything and does a bunch of, ridiculous foolishness.
Because Ishii was like, EA.
Yeah.
EA.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm gonna do the Tequila Sunrise, EA. And this is where I'm gonna do the EA.
Right. So I can tell that just by having watched Ishii like pretty much every one of his matches for the past 5 years or so. Like, I can tell that he's the type of guy that is up for a lot of stuff and is down to do like cool, whatever, like he'll let you get your shit in, he'll get his shit in, whatever. He doesn't need to do a lot. There's just certain things that he's going to get in. I'm just more curious to other people's opinion that are not used to seeing him. Is he getting over with people? That's what I want to see, because it's sometimes that when you bring in overseas talent, they have a bad habit of just trying to act like you should already, just accept these people for who they are, rather than give them like a little bit of a build up or something. Give them a few wins into, against some guys, and then put them up against somebody. It seems like they get put in main events right away and stuff like that, and everybody just immediately says, "Who the fuck is this guy?" That's the internet fan these days. They can't be bothered to know about somebody, but they can complain about him. That's for damn sure. Anyway, this is a pretty good Ishii match. It's a standard Ishii match. Maybe he fired up a little, one too many times. He likes to do his fire up spot, but he shouldn't do it too much. But he sold his ass off in this, and really, Jonah didn't leave his feet too often, and when he did, it meant something.
And even did the finish, like, and I sorry to interrupt you there, Vet, but the like, I honestly, like, when he hit the move and then Jonah started climbing up to the top, I'm like, no way, they're really about to do this and have him beat Ishii, and then he fucking kicked out. Then he kicked out of the splash off the top.
No,
rope,
he moved. He moved.
Oh, he moved. Okay, I thought he kicked out. I didn't notice that he moved. I'm like, oh wow, he kicked out of that. Like, that makes a lot more sense now.
That's better and protects the finish.
Yeah, it protects the finish.
Well, I know that because marks like the Young Bucks and Adam Cole and other things had tours of Japan, that people think that New Japan is all about kicking out of finishers and stuff like that. Again, I've been watching for New Japan for 5 years straight. I can count on less than 2 hands. I need all 10 fingers and I still have some left over. The amount of times somebody kicked out of a finisher in that 5 years. And it's mostly white people. Like, generally, if you get hit with a finish in New Japan, you're done. You're done in Japan. So they will get out of it instead. Instead of kicking out of it, they'll counter it or move or something like that. So not really a finisher kick out type of promotion. So Ishii, even if they suggested that Ishii would kick out, he probably would just say, I'll just move, because they just don't do that there.
I'm moving because I don't want that 400-pound man landing on me.
That too. But yeah. Anyway.
It also makes sense for Ishii to be the next challenger to Alexander, because those are the only 2 guys to go over on Jonah.
Right.
Because Matt Riddle's an MMA fighter, and he's just as badass almost as Brock Lesnar. So he could take a senton of a fat guy who's totally out of weight, who, if Riddle really had to fight the guy, would totally kick his ass in like less than a round. Moves don't really mean anything nowadays, but I can see where Riddle not getting hurt by a senton.
I'd rather take a senton from Kevin Owens or a tsunami from Jonah than a swanton from Jeff Hardy. Fuck. So we get a package for the eight team elimination match. Jesus. 8. That's the amount of times that people have kicked out of New Japan finishers in the past 5 years. Yeah, so the major players. Now I have a side note for anybody that watched this. Colin, maybe you saw. Chelsea came out.
Yep.
With the major players.
Yep.
And
great.
Yeah, she had that bejeweled bra and like the ponytail.
On, yeah.
What is that from? That's something. That's a cosplay of something. Who is that? What is she doing?
I don't know, but she looked
couldn't
really
place
good. Did
it.
you see her, Brandon?
I did not.
Hang on, let me see if I can find a
please
picture
pull
of
that
her.
up. Please.
Hands where we can see him, Brandon.
Yeah, hands where we can see him.
But yeah, if anybody saw Chelsea or is about to see Chelsea right here, tell me what she's doing here, because I could not place it, but I know I've seen this somewhere.
The only thing I can find right now is the video of Big Cass putting her through the table.
Oh, stop it. There has to be a picture.
Seriously, I went to images and I can't find images. It's just
Well, did you put in Rebellion 2022?
Yeah. Chelsea Green Rebellion 2022.
Are you sure? Are you sure you put it in?
Yeah, I can share my Google searches with you.
That's what she said. Anyway, while you're looking for that, and continue to look for it, because I've got 8 teams to run through. So the major players defeat...
Oh, wow. Apparently, there's a YouTube video that says Morrissey removes Chelsea Green's bra at 2022 Rebellion Impact Wrestling.
I don't recall that happening. I feel like I would have.
Oh, wait, right here. Oh, this is like perfect.
Nice.
This YouTube video got it like perfect.
Ooh.
So it's like a Madonna thing, it seems like, almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Like disco boobies here. Some disco boobies.
Yeah,
the leather
Elizabeth,
pants and
the bejeweled bra and the latex pants, but that ponytail, that top ponytail. What is that? Who is that? Yeah, who is that?
I swear it's got to be like
it's so familiar.
It looks like it's I swear it's got to be like Madonna. He's got to be like...
It could be Madonna.
Yeah, it's I'm getting
very
like
Madonna-esque.
But specifically the way the cups are like designed, like the shape of them and stuff, it looks like she's doing some homage to somebody. God, it's like it's in my brain somewhere.
Yeah, she can see it. It's just not coming. It's on the tip of your tongue. It's on the tip of your tongue. Maybe you'll think of it, Ben. Maybe you'll think. Maybe. Oh, so does Brandon there.
Well, he can have. He's been waving
You
the
need
flag for Chelsea
You
Law.
need to have your hands above the table too, Vet.
Got my notes here.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, got 2 mugs, 2 coffee.
Just hold them down by your side, Ricky Bobby.
Well, anyway, somebody will figure this out. So
But you know what we
major
won't figure out? This fucking
What?
8-man tag, this eight-man gauntlet match.
Is it Lady Gaga? Or are
Oh,
you
that
just
could be
saying
who
that?
it was. It could be Lady Gaga. That might be who it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, there we go.
Is it?
Let me look. Let me see if I can find Lady Gaga.
That does
I
kind
feel
of
like it's. I mean, I don't know. It feels like somebody else, like from a movie or something.
Lady Mada.
Anyway, look. Let me just run through this real quick. Major players defeat Jordan, Grace, and Morrissey, and then afterwards there's a bunch of bullshit, culminating in Chelsea going through the table hard. Like, he threw her down through that table. That table
He didn't let go of her,
broke
though.
real quick.
He didn't let
Like-
go of her, though. He, held her all the way down into the table, and then he lets go of her. Like, he didn't,
Yes.
spike her or nothing. Like, he holds her all the way down, but he definitely has some force on him spiking her through that table.
Right. It looked like it fucked her up. And I couldn't tell because she was selling it anyway. She was going to sell it the same whether she's fucked up or not, but it was a violent table slam.
She broke her wrist again.
Yeah. Like, why do you keep doing this? Like, are you trying to prove to yourself that you're not made of balsa wood? Like, you are clearly, held together with glue and popsicle sticks here. So, anyways, the Good Brothers come out. They defeat the major players. Then the Good Brothers defeat Swinger and Zicky. I typed that result before the bell even rang because I knew it was going to happen. Then the Good Brothers defeat Swamak. No real things to note here except that Willie Mack completely missed a flying back elbow and Carl Anderson bumped anyway. So that was sad. But
There were lots of chin locks. I could hear them talking. They were putting over chin locks on commentary, Vet.
Yeah, I definitely saw one for sure, but they didn't really have a chance to do one until this match with Swamak here. And then the next match was OGK, and they beat the Good Brothers real quick, got them out of there, so no chance for a chin lock. And then Heath and Rhino defeated OGK, and then Violent by Design comes out last as champions, and they defeat Heath and Rhino. So there, you took up a huge chunk of show on this rather than just have one match or something. So can't really.
They got to get everybody in there.
I guess
Got
they
to
do.
get everybody in there.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like Impact, after watching this show, it's like they're like AW's roster's bloated, WWE's roster was bloated. It's like Impact's roster's really bloated. Especially because all right, what are we gonna do with Moose now? Right? You have your title picture, you have your women's title, you have your tag titles, you have your X division title, right? The show's an hour and a half. That's 4 things right there that you need to have thrown throughout the whole show.
Some of the stuff you can move to BTI. Like, you could probably keep digital media and maybe Knockouts tag on there.
Yeah, I did like Bravo and Zicky Dice, though they got taken out really soon. I think that's going to be a good tag team. I think I'd like to see more of not Bravo, Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice. Yeah,
That
I
could
like
be fun.
Swinger and
That's gonna be
Dice.
entertaining. I'm enjoying that.
Okay. Well, see if you can enjoy this. We get another package, and then we get
Ooh, yes.
Rosemary versus Tasha Steelz. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I didn't totally pay attention to it as hard as I could have. But I mean, it seemed okay. Tasha Steelz still not. She's still refusing to work her size a little bit. But she did end up winning the match, although Rosemary's entire left shoulder was resting on her leg. It was like one of those, like be in a sunset flip position. And her Rosemary's whole arm was up on Tasha's feet, and the referee was just like, whatever.
I'll count it anyway. Nobody's gonna notice.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess. And other times you see referees completely halt the flow of the match just to make sure that somebody's shoulders are down. So,
And they've done that in Impact. There
yes.
was another ref that'll definitely be like not counting it because their shoulders aren't down. But I feel like this was, again, I think I've said this on former Impact attacks. I think Rosemary's a great feud, like a great starter feud for Tasha to have. Like they've given her Mickey James. Now she's got Rosemary, another veteran who's been in there. Let's keep her with the veterans that are going to keep her looking really good and help her, as kind of that green, newer single star on her own to kind of establish herself.
Help grow and develop something that she can, somebody who's better than her that can bring her up to their level.
And maybe she'll learn to work her size throughout having somebody like one of these girls in there kind of telling her what to do. Maybe.
Well, they better start telling her. Anyway, then we got the package again. If we need another package for this, Josh Alexander versus Moose.
Ooh, more packages.
Yep. We got Josh walking out with the kid, dressed just like him, which is somehow disturbing to see this toddler in a singlet with headgear.
Are you sure that wasn't Hornswoggle?
Pretty sure. Even smaller than Hornswoggle. Very small. He's a tiny, tiny child. So, the way they got around the whole buildup of this match being like so personal is part of Scott D'Amore's pep talk was saying like the way you're going to hurt Moose is to take what means everything to him. And you can't do that if you do something crazy, get disqualified, whatever. You have to win the championship because you're the better wrestler. You're the better fighter. That's how you have to win. So this is how they keep him from trying to maim this guy the entire time to have a regular match. So in a way, they did try to make it make sense. I wish they would apply that logic to everything they do, but sadly they don't. Anyway.
Or just have it be like, this is what everybody paid to see. They want to see these guys kill each other. Let them do it.
No, Brandon. Wrestling. That's the key. Wrestling is the key with wrestling. So Josh wrestles Moose, and it's pretty all right, I guess. And then you have but we also have the ankle lock, which now has a precedent of Josh snapping somebody's ankle with it, because that's why Madman Fulton hasn't been seen the past two shows, and Ace Austin's been going it alone. So to not do that here, where you have him in the ankle lock, it's like, oh well, So there's ways to get around that. They could have him almost like just go for the leg, but before he can even get in position, Moose can be in the ropes and Josh has to break it, because if he doesn't, he'll get disqualified. Then Moose is the champion. Looks like Colin has a question. Yes.
Professor Vet, if Moose's finisher is a spear, then why is Jonah using it as like a signature move to set up his like jumping off the top rope? Shouldn't the spear be a protected move since it is like a finisher move and not be like a pre-move that another lesser person on the card uses on the show that eventually doesn't even, like, it just gets kicked out of, basically? Like Moose finishes people with the spear. Jonah should have demolished Ishii with the spear, because I see people get demolished and finished with the spear all the time. Why, Professor Vet?
Because more people do spears in wrestling than hip tosses now. So you do not get to claim a basic wrestling move as your move. If you use it as a finish, that's on you.
I'm going to start finishing people with hip tosses. Like, can I get the hip toss over as a devastating finisher because no one uses the hip toss anymore? Oh my God, all the wind went out of him when he landed like that. He can't breathe. Now Colin's going to pin him for the win.
No one has the technique of my hip toss.
Or better yet, arm drag.
Oh, arm drag. That would be good.
Arm drag. What is a hip toss but a modified arm drag, really? So that answers that question. Too many spears in wrestling. It'd be weird to try to say, hey, I do a spear. It's like, yeah, you and 20 other people. Yeah. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, ankle locks. So he never really snaps Moose's ankle, although he does have Moose in it for a while. and Moose ends up selling it later. That he's like limping around and stuff. So, but eventually, they kick out of each other's finishers. Josh Alexander kicks out of a Moose spear. And Moose actually doesn't kick out of a C4. He gets his foot on the rope. So they did not go the, quid pro quo route with these guys' finishers. But then Aaliyah. Lisbeth says it looks like Aaliyah.
Yeah, there's a picture of Aaliyah where she's got a sequin bra with like a sequin choker and like a sequin belt. But her hair is kind of long.
But the ponytail is key.
Yeah, it's not really ponytailed here. I think it's
someone
like a
has looked
combination.
exactly like Chelsea has looked with the ponytail and that bra and everything. Find it, guys.
Mysteries.
Find it.
We
We only have a few minutes left of the show. We must find it. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Moose. So Moose, and then Josh Alexander wins with the C4. And he's the new champion. And he gets his moment, and nobody interrupts him, and the show goes off the air with his wife and kids celebrating. Ariana Grande's another one. Like, I think that is something I was thinking of,
could
too.
be the one that I'm thinking of. She kind of looks like Ariana Grande.
Yeah. Ariana she does do the high ponytail a lot.
Right. But does she do the bra?
I haven't seen anything with the bra yet.
I think she does. I don't know, but it seems, for some reason, it feels older than that. I could be wrong. It feels like older, though. I don't know.
Not seeing anything pop up with Ariana Grande.
Anyways, the guys had a good match. I felt like it was worthy of the long build-up, like you couldn't have like a short match. It had to be like a sort of a longer epic match. And it didn't approach like, 45-minute territory or anything like that, but it was a good 20-something minutes. I'm pretty sure. It felt long, felt like half hour, including the entrances and everything. So I think anybody that had to sit through all these packages and stuff and finally got to see this match, I don't think they would have been disappointed in the match, really. I think the guys delivered. There was a couple little tweaks I would have made to it, but that's nitpicking. And really, when you got a show where somebody's fucking getting revived with electricity, how much nitpicking can you do? So we got a lot of new champions on this show. We got Taya Valkyrie. We got Ace Austin. We got Josh Alexander. Tasha retains and Violent by Design retains. And the Digital Media Championship was not defended, but other than that, we saw some shuffling here. So that was your Rebellion for 2022. I thought it was okay. All things considered, I would not have liked to watch it, but I'm a professional. I'm the most professional. Sorry, Brian Myers. It's me. It was me all along. It was me, Myers.
Ah, son of a bitch.
So what is the rumor between the two of them? Like, do they not want to work with each other? Like be paired up as a tag team, and here they are, like pairing themselves up as a tag team again? Or is that kind of like a rib between the two of them?
No, I don't know. I think they could probably call their shots to a certain degree at this point. Like, if they really didn't want to work together, I don't think that, anybody would have to talk them into it like that. I don't think they would try that hard. It's not that important that they be together. But it also is weird that it's like, oh yeah, I don't like you. I don't like you either. But we do everything else together. Toys, podcasts, Whoa.
He's a big barrel-chested man.
He looks big when you put a picture like that. But when you stand him next to somebody else, that's when you see it.
It's true.
Put him next to Adam Cole. You see the
same size.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add about Rebellion 2022, Impact Wrestling, the Go Home show?
Well, I fear for Moose now because if he could barely get on the show as champion.
He's going to the WWE to wrestle Roman Reigns.
No.
Spear versus spear. Wrestling God versus Wrestling Bloodline.
No.
I'm a wrestling god.
Is that JBL?
Yeah.
Sounded like JBL more than Moose.
Well, Vet, let everybody know where they can find you.
At Opinion Haver everywhere. You can find me on the Next Level Wrestling Review every Wednesday morning at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, with Big Ray Hernandez. This week, we'll be talking about NXT. And then you can also find me sometimes on other things if I have to fill in for somebody. And you can also find me right here at the Impact Attack every week.
Are you streaming any Elden Ring?
I may. I did some on Friday. Might do some tomorrow or today for some of you later. I haven't decided yet. Sometimes you just don't feel like it, you know?
If I was off, I would want to like come join one of your streams as my character, and we just run around, do things.
Oh yeah. Well, we could try that. But the thing is, whenever it says you're playing Elden Ring, I don't know if you're really playing it or if you just fell asleep with the PlayStation.
No, most of the time, if it says I'm playing it, I'm playing it. I usually don't leave the PlayStation on with Elden Ring because I don't know if he's gonna grab the controller and do anything crazy and get me killed or whatever. So,
Well, all right.
give me another blood. I need another blood.
Blood weapon?
Blood weapon,
Blood causing weapon?
No, well,
Lead
the I forgot what the freaking one is called that I have. The Blood Hunter, the Blood Fang, curved sword. If you can, we can go fight the boss, and then you just give me the second one. I can dual wield them. Just hack away at things. No.
Well, I already killed that boss, so
Yeah, that's fine. So I update. I'm kind of still running around. I think I told you I killed a magma worm that got me to Altus Plateau recently. I didn't go too far into Altus Plateau because I want to finish Liurnia and go down to Kaled. But Vet, I had another night where I had like 24,000 runes. I got killed by the zombie skeleton things that grab you in Kaled and then like bite you or whatever, right? Like I knew I shouldn't have got off my horse and like attacked them, but I'm like being too brave, right? And the one fucking grabs me and kills me, right? So I start at the State of America and I'm like on my horse and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to run back over there, go get my runes. There's like a rock like going up the hill and then it's just complete cliff and you can't see that there's a complete cliff. So I'm just like,
it's always a cliff.
And I'm like, God damn it, there goes 20 fucking thousand runes. But then it seemed like it was a thing because like after I posted mine, then Bobo chimed in that he had just lost runes, like lost like 20 G's. And then the sinister one, Adam Rivera from the Hami Media Group Facebook group, he said he lost 106,000 on rats and bats the other night, right? Then using the same hashtag Elden Ring, the top tweet for that hashtag, which was kind of crazy because it was all like within minutes of each other, right? Nyla Rose tweets a photo where she's like, I have like it's like she has 30,000 runes, and she's like, I'm afraid to do anything right now, and it's like go and spend. Like I just hear the vet in my head like go and fucking spend them. Just go and spend them.
Yeah, you can always spend them. Even if you don't get a level up, you can level up your weapons. You can level up your summons. You can just get rid of them. If you're scared, get rid of them. Just get rid of them.
And the guy that I watched, like to set me up to play this game, right? The walkthroughs that I watch, he saves his little rune pieces that he finds. So when he gets to like let's say he
close
goes
enough, he burns them all.
He can burn. No, he don't
course.
even burn them all. He'll just burn one or two.
No, whatever he needs.
Yeah, whatever he needs to get to that next level. And I'm like, oh my god, that's genius, you know. And then there was one time I had a shit ton, so I busted them all, and I had like 60,000. I'm like, yes, 4 levels. Yes, I'll take this.
Yeah,
the game's so much fun, Vet. Like I didn't think that I could find a game that would replace Skyrim, and this game has replaced Skyrim for me.
Easily.
Yeah.
But anyway, who cares about all that?
No,
Brandon, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Miss Tia the Transarch. I guess we're there at least once a week, usually on Saturdays. with a WoW raid. I'm not sure what we're doing this week. Once I know, I'll let you guys know. And of course, always every Monday night with these two fine gentlemen right here on the Impact Attack.
Yes. And let's see. So you can find me. We already talked about it. Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The A Show with April Hunter, as we'll have special guests Aaron Stevens and Ava Shokatano, spiritual scholars. It'll be a very fun one. She was just telling me she went to a metaphysical conference this past week, and she met some people, got to like go through some cool things. So it'll be really interesting to hear what April learned about on that. Then Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, after you're done enjoying NXT 2.0, the next level wrestling review show with Mr. Opinion Haver and Mr. Big Ray Hernandez, come on down to twitch.tv/ridiculously random pod for the Ridiculously Random Podcast, where it's going to be top 5 Weird Al songs. This one's going to be fun. Get your emails in to yourrandompod@gmail.com and let us know your top 5 favorite Weird Al songs. Vet, since you're never going to be on the show, what is your favorite Weird Al song?
My baloney.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. What about you?
What
about you, Brandon?
Smells Like Nirvana.
Smells Like. That's another good one. All right, guys. For the Vet and for Gia Miller, I am Colin Wysong, and this has been your Impact Attack at channelattitude.com and the Hameen Media Group Podbean. We are out.